It's one of the most mesmerizing and otherworldly spectacles of nature. The gathering of thousands of starlings moving in perfect synchronicity in an aerial ballet. This swirling, swooping, shape-shifting mass of starlings is known as a murmuration. It's called this due to the continuous low humming sounds their wings create when in flight. Though to me, it sounds more like the gusting wind or waves of the ocean. They form these massive flocks most often in the winter at dusk before settling in to roost for the night. Some are resident starlings, and others are short-distance migrants who have joined in from northern latitudes. They don't do this in the summer, as time and resources are spent on the breeding grounds with their mate, defending territory, and raising young. Scientists believe that the reason for the murmurations is to avoid predators. Predators such as peregrine falcons are particularly fond of preying upon starlings, so a flock that is moving in unpredictable patterns makes it harder for a bird at the edge of the flock to get picked off. Other reasons murmurations form is to exchange information about good feeding areas and to keep warm at night. Though at this point, I'm assuming this is after they have landed. But you may be wondering, as I did, how do they not bump into each other? How do they all seem to know what direction to move in? This is an area that is still being studied, but some clarity has emerged. One study found that when one starling changes direction or speed, each member of the flock responds instantaneously. This is a phenomenon they call the scale-free correlation, which basically means that the group is more than the sum of its parts, responding as a whole to its environment. This is an effective way of communicating. A starling on one end of the flock can respond to what others are sensing all the way on the other end, which is advantageous when trying to avoid a hungry falcon or hawk. Another study found that the starlings coordinate their movements with their 7 nearest neighbors. A very simplified example of how this works with people is when someone driving 5 or so cars in front of you hits the brakes, then the car behind that person brakes, then the car behind that person brakes, and so on, setting off a wave of brake lights in response to the initial stimulus. But we've only scratched the surface here, and there's still a lot that remains a mystery on how they're able to collectively coordinate their movements so seamlessly. And they're not the only birds to murmurate. Snow geese, sandpipers, and others can change direction at a moment's notice, moving with grace and ease as a group. I have never seen a starling murmuration in real life, and I can only imagine how spectacular it would be. Have you ever seen one? If so, feel free to share what your experience was like down below. Thank you for watching. That's all for this time. I'll see you again soon.